Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming. Testing. Can you guys hear me? Please drop me a heart or Candy C, if you can hear me. Sorry, guys, for the delay. We are about to have another storm to come through. So if that can go, hey sis, hey living better. Can you guys hear me? Thank you. Now, if the storm comes through and it gets pretty bad, guys, I'll have to get off. But I'm gonna keep going until it does whatever because it's gotten dark over here. So thank you for coming. Let me get everything signed up here. How's everybody Monday going? How was your weekend? Yes, thank you, Living Better. Please thumbs up the live. Thank you, Taylor. Welcome, Taylor. Hello, Jaden. Thank you for coming. You were number two coming in. Tiffany was number one. Thank you for coming in. Hey, Harrison Family Blog. Thank you for coming. Harrison, I missed your premiere today, but I will go back and check it once my live is over. So I always try to give people a couple of minutes to come in, and then I will go ahead and get everything set up. Glad you're here too, Tiffany. Thank you so much for coming. How was your weekend? So guys, I had a very, very long weekend. I will tell you that. Very long. Not enough hours in a day, but if they gave us more, we'll still complain. I already know that. Yeah, Harrison Family Blog been going out there. He's been hitting the scene hard. He has been hitting the scene hard. So guys, I'm gonna give about another. I always give to 7:35 for the guests to come in, and then we'll start up. Hello, Coco Empire. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. How are you, dear? Thank you, guys, for coming in. Please thumbs up the live. Thank you so very much for coming in. You are greatly appreciated. All right, let's see what we're looking at now. I hope the storm passes over because it actually came through hard a little bit earlier today, and I had washed the mats for my bird cage and left them out so that they can dry. And I was sitting there just looking at the rain, and then I was like, oh my goodness, I left it outside. So now I got to wait for it to dry again. Weekend was okay. Took my aunt and her family some food. Yeah, you mentioned the services went well this weekend. Yes, Tiffany. It was a long one. Whew, I don't know. You know, they say the Lord only won't give you more than you can handle, but whew, I tell you. So Harrison said he's trying to commit to upload a day. That's awesome. And I get your notifications, which is great. That's how I knew you sent something out today as well. And I was in the middle of something and couldn't get it started. Storming out there, yes, it is. It is. We had a pretty nasty one earlier today. And I got a haircut finally. So is that what your vlog was about today? Okay, so we got the time here. It is now 7:35 Eastern Standard Time. My live start at 7:30, but I was a little late today. I apologize for that. I always try to come out early, but it did not happen for me today. So, with that being said, we'll go ahead and get this started here. So once the screen comes up, guys, please let me know if you can see the content that's coming up. I would greatly appreciate it. Probably could show it on my phone too. Okay, it should be coming up. Okay, so I had this done intentionally because when I started working on my slides, yeah, the clouds were moving like that, but they got a little bit darker. It was pretty, very pretty at first, and then it got dark. So that's what happened today. So we are going to go ahead and get started. We're going to get started. So Candy C is in the house. Thank you so much for coming, Candy C. Again, it was Tiffany Chanel, then Jaden, then we had Living Better, and from there we had Candy C. We got Harrison Family Blog, Coco and Empire. Anybody that's in the woods or whatever, I wholeheartedly welcome you guys to my live. And if anybody has any questions throughout, I ask for you to let me know if you have questions going through the process. But I do appreciate you guys for being here today. So today we are talking about conventional loans. So we actually first started out talking, we talked about the whole process of doing a loan. We've talked about credit. We've talked about VA loans. And now we've talked about FHA last week, which was a big hit because a lot of people like the FHA loan. And that was my niche. That's all I really did. I did a few conventionals, not a few, it was a lot, but my niche was government loans. So I did a lot of FHA, VA loans. So conventional is a little more structured and a little bit stricter, but it's a great loan altogether. Hey, Bunny Rose, welcome. How are you? Thank you for coming, my dear. So we're going to talk about conventional loans today. Don't be afraid of conventional loans. They're not bad at all. They're actually pretty decent loans. It's just a lot of people that I've had in the past had challenging credit and things of that nature. So we went FHA. They did, if it wasn't the credit, they didn't have the down payment. But we've got some good news on conventional loans now too. So, okay, I always have to give you guys a disclaimer that I am a retired licensed mortgage professional. This chat is not meant to extend credit. I'm simply offering advice and support to you that will allow you to become a responsible homeowner. I also will not interfere with a lender or a real estate agent, realtor or an agent. So if you're dealing with somebody now, if you want advice, I'll be happy to lend you advice, but I will not interfere by calling your real estate agent or your realtor or the lender by any means at all. I will not do that. Okay, so with conventional, we talked about again about FH, the government loans, but now conventional is an investor type loan. It is not a investment property. It's a clean cut creme de la creme loan. But they've moved around some now that just not only people with good credit can get a conventional loan. And that's because of two reasons. But I'm going to go over and tell you again the same things are actually required when you go to meet your loan officer for the first time. It's the same thing that you need with an FHA or a VA loan. But I have to repeat this because this is a different type loan. So, of course, you're going to need your 2 months bank statement, all pages. Even if that last page said it left it blank intentionally, we need that last page. We need 30 days of pay stubs, no gaps, straight through. 30 days of pay period, pay stubs. We need 2 years of tax returns with all schedules. That's your rental income if you have it, 401ks and things of that nature. We need those tax returns. We also need to have 2 years of W-2s, consecutive. We need the Social Security disability or retirement awards letter. So we do need that. We also need rental agreement. That's if you have rental property. So those are the basic things that you're going to need for just about every loan. Now, I will say this, sometimes, not a lot. Sometimes when we run them through the automated system, it may not ask for some things, but again, it is at the lender's discretion. Hey, Yomi. Hey, honey, how you doing? Thank you for coming. So with that being said, I don't want to drive this one through and through and through. We've said this now over every all of the content that I've talked about with mortgages. So, did anybody have any questions so far? Any questions about what is needed? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start talking about. Oh, you're welcome, Yomi. We're going to talk about the conventional loan. Now, conventional loan is a conforming lending loan. It is one of the stricter loan types, but they have options. Now, at one point, they didn't have very many options. It was just straight across the board. You'd have good credit, reserves, 20% down or 10% down, or else you have to go get an FHA loan or a VA loan. But those have changed over the years. But they are considered the cream of the crop, conforming lending. And it's conforming because it's in a box and they won't go outside that box. That's the way it used to be considered conforming. They have that square box and you cannot go a hairline over that box because the lender would say, nope, not going to do it. So they've come a long ways and they've come up with some really neat products. And I don't know if it's because they're seeing that people, even though they have good credit and they have money, everybody don't want to put all their money down. So if I could put down less money, guess what I would do? Put down less money. So they have changed a lot over the years. But that's what they're called, conforming lenders. Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about is who the investors are. And you guys probably saw it in the news when we had the mortgage meltdown and you heard Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae in the news a lot. Because those were the type of loans that people had at the time when they had those no docs, or they had the no doc loans, or they had the ones where you just tell them the stated loans. So I've done a lot of those loans too. I never really liked those loans. And they are coming back slowly but surely. They're coming back. I guess they haven't learned their lesson that that happens a lot. 2008, Taylor, I will tell you this also. It happens every so many years. I've been in the business for over 30 years. And as far back as I remember, around election time, it always happens. So that's why the lenders they're tightening up the buckles now, because they like, whenever we have election time, they drop the rates way, way low. And then all kind of stragglers come in, and then we have to collect on those mortgages because they let their arms down. They open up the gates and all kind of stuff happens. So 2008 was a year too, Taylor. Let me see. It was 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep, 2008. We had the big one then. That's when we had Taylor Bean and Whitaker. We had Countrywide. All of those banks had bad loans. And I actually ended up going to work for Bank of America. And we did what they call the Making Homes Affordable loans, that we had to go in and clean up all of that mess and get those loans back under control. So we did, I forgot how many billions of dollars we recouped just by refinancing the loans in a great way. So yeah, I saw some of the interest rates. It was like, I wanted to cry. I just could not believe how some of those people were treated. And most of those people had really good credit. So, yeah. But you heard in the news, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, because those are the two investors. They used to have Ginnie Mae too, but Ginnie Mae was, oh God, what was they called? Ginnie Mae was, what was that company? Oh my goodness, I can't think of it. It's been a long time since they've been out there. Ginnie Mae was another one, but we don't hear anything about Ginnie Mae now. I'm sorry, Taylor, did I answer your question? So again, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae. Freddie Mac has what they call Loan Prospector, which is LP. And hey, Vern, how are you? I'm doing well, Vern. Thank you for coming. Freddie Mac was LP. That's their automated system. So most lenders will run their loans. Even the FHA loans get ran through Freddie Mac. And Fannie Mae has desktop underwriting. So even on an FHA and a VA loan, they still do that as extra security on the loan, because whatever Freddie Mac comes back and say on the LP or Fannie Mae on the DU, if they say we can do this loan if you get this, 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 and this, as long as the lender get everything on there, if something happens, then Freddie Mac takes over the loan and the lender doesn't have to buy it back. So with conventional loans, we're going to talk about the property types that's allowed. And again, it's nothing different with FHA on conventional except for the types of loans that you can do. Now, on an FHA loan, the only way you can do an investment property if it was a property you lived in and you had to move away and you have another property and it becomes investment. But they don't do investment. Rarely, rarely, rarely will they do investment on an FHA loan. So the types of loans, they have primary residence. You can do a primary residence, you can do a second home, and investment property on your conventional loans. Now, with the conventional loans, the rates are a little bit different than FHA. They're not as high because FHA has what they call premium MIP in their loans, and their factors are a little bit higher than the conventional loan. So now again, you're talking about yeah, exactly, very rarely, yes. So if you're talking about a conventional loan, again, remember those are the cream of the crop. Those are the loans that you can go to the bank and say, hey, I'm Mr. Customer. I've got a 800 credit score. I got $1 million in my savings account. I got a 401k. I've been on my job for 25 years, and bam, you got a loan. You got a good rate. FHA tend to have challenging customers. They don't have good credit or they don't have the reserves to put down on their property. So that's the difference in the two. And the rates are a little bit different. So as a loan officer, when I would look at the rates and I would see who has the better rate, conventional rates are pretty good. But if I have an FHA customer, the rates are not bad. It's just that if they could have tweaked their credit just a little bit or had some extra money to put down, they could have went into a conventional loan and had a really great rate. Back in the day, a lot of loan officers loved to do the FHA loans because we got paid a lot of money for doing FHA loans. And when I say that's all I did back then was FHA loans, the money was really, 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 really good. So the interest rates are a little bit different. Okay, so with the rates, they have the types of rates, which I should have said that before I changed the slides, but you can get a fixed rate, an adjustable rate, mortgage. And then they have jumbo loans. So those are the types of rates that you're going to be dealing with when you're dealing with a conventional loan and an FHA, because FHA does have adjustable rate mortgages too. Now, the jumbo loans, you will not get that on an FHA loan, but you will get it on a conventional loan. And when I say jumbo, jumbo means these are the $1 million homes, big $1 million loans. Those are jumbo loans. So with that being said, on the conventional loan, you can get a fixed term and then you'll get an adjustable rate. Also, the terms that you will get on a conventional loan, you can do a 10-year, 20-year, or 30-year. Those are the three types of terms that you can get on a conventional loan. So now to the house thing, and I'm glad Bern is on here because she talks about this, and so does Tiffany Chanel on her channel. Okay, so your down payment, and I just put a picture of that says house because people put their petty cash in. Now listen, you cannot come to closing with cash. I should just give that disclaimer. You cannot come to closing with cash. No, because guess what? We want to see what you got in your bank account, and the attorney wants to make sure that you get a official or a certified cashier's check for closing. So only reason I put that there is because people save their money for their down payment and they put it in little jars, or I wouldn't do that. But people save money for their houses. So that's the only reason why this slide is here. Okay, so your down payment on FHA was 3% or 2.75. Or if you get a gift, you get 100% on your conventional loans. The FHA loans are only for first-time home buyers. If not, the first-time home buyer have to go with the conventional loan. Yeah, it depends though, Tiffany. If they haven't had an FHA loan if it's been over so many years, they can be considered again as a first-time home buyer. But even if they are not a first-time home buyer, they can definitely go FHA because if they're challenging credit. But a conventional loan is not a bad loan at all either. So you're right, Tiffany. If they have not had it, hey, Chosen Queen, hello, welcome. Thank you for coming. It's good to save at least 1 year while still paying your regular bills with no missed payment. Exactly. Yes, okay, the number of years. Interesting. Yeah, it depends on the number of years because after so many years, because you know that some stuff doesn't even show up on the credit anymore. So after 7 years, if it's paid off and, it's not there. Or if they refinance and somebody else bought the house, they don't have it for 7 years, then if they're renting, so then they become a first-time home buyer again. Okay, so like the loan to value we talked about was 97%. Now first, hey Carolyn Eats, welcome. Thank you, dear, for coming. So remember, it drops off after 7 years. Yes, exactly. So if they had, say for instance, it was a husband and wife situation. The wife got the house. The husband says, well, I don't want another house anyway. He moves into a condo or apartment or whatever he does rent. And then he says after 7 or 8 years of that nasty divorce and he or she got a new person that they about to marry, then they want to buy, then they're considered first time home buyers again. But that was a good comment, Tiffany. Thank you for putting that out there. Yes. So now conventional loans, they have a 97%. They do have 100% financing also. And the rates are pretty good. And it's done through your whatever your state. Like in Georgia, we have a company that does thanks for asking. Oh, she's talking to Vern. Yes, there's a company out there that does loans for. It's not a loan. What they do is they put the down payment. They provide the down payment to the customer, but they have to stay in the house for a certain amount of years, and each year a percentage falls off. They cannot sell. They cannot refinance for 5 years, and after the 5 years, then they can refinance or sell the property. But each state has their own type of help for customers. But they do have a 97% interest loan to value now with conventional, 95, 90, 80, and etc. So that's what the down payment consists of. And we've talked about the loan to value, which is the LTV. Guys, I'm so sorry. I am bad with doing acronyms because I've been in the business so long. LTV stands for loan to value. So we've talked about the loan to value, we've talked about the terms, but now we're going to talk about PMI. Yeah, like all day long. Yeah, Candy. Did you come to that VA? I did the VA one on Veterans Day. We did I did a live on Veterans Day for VA loans. It hit right on time too. So yes, VA loans are great loans too. And that was I did a lot of EARLs, which is the interest rate reduction loans for VA. Yeah, I did the VA one. It was very brief because it was a holiday, so I was contemplating coming on that day. Your PMI is complete? Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, you know about that PMI, right? So with PMI, what is PMI, guys? PMI is a premium that is used to protect the lender slash investor against foreclosure on properties that are financed above 80%. Now, here's the kicker. Back in the day, and some lenders still do this, if you go down below the 20% loan to value, once your equity is at greater than 80%, less than 80%, they used to just drop your PMI. Now, I always recommend the customer to call, get an amortization schedule just to make sure. Parents, let's see, not parent plus loan go away after 7 years. Yes. So you did the parent plus loan. Awesome. Awesome. Gosh, I haven't heard that one in a while. So you have to check with the lender. I always check behind them because sometimes they'll slip and act like they didn't know that 20% drop because their system, supposedly their system is supposed to catch it, but not always. But sometimes if the customer is still considered risk, they can actually tell them, no, we're going to make this stay on for another year or so. When I say risk, that's a customer that pay late a lot. And those are the loans that they sell too. They sell those quick because they want those off their books. So back in the day, they used to hold your loan and say, nope, you missed 18 payments out of 100. We're going to keep that PMI on there because we don't know if you're going to not follow through. Or if they file a bankruptcy, if they're just really careless with their money, they get really antsy and scared. So they either try and sell that loan off or they'll get one of their own loan officers because most lenders have loan officers. They'll get their loan officers, hey, Foodie, hey, sis, how you doing? Welcome. So most of the lenders will actually get one of their loan officers to try and refinance the customer so they can get them out of their pool. Because if that's a really risky customer, they don't want to take that chance. But that's what your PMI is, guys. And what the PMI does for you, the more money you put down, guys, the less payment you're going to have. And that's going to be your chance of not having PMI. So if you get a loan to value that's less than 80%, then you will not have PMI. And a lot of people cringe because they don't want to pay that PMI premium. Right? So with PMI, they found other alternative ways. Now, I used to do a lot of 80-20 loans because if you do an 80% first and a 20% second, then you don't have mortgage insurance, right? Some people like to do it. The responsible people are like, yeah, we can do it because, we've got all the savings. We're good with money. We've got credit is good. I'm working. I've been on my job for a long time. So we would do that. We would do an 80-20 loan so people would not pay the premium. So that was an option we would give to the customers. We would tell them, hey, do you want to avoid the premium, the PMI? If you do, we can do an 80-20. Some customers don't want to do that because that's 2 payments automatically on their house. But some will do it. They'll keep it until their loan to value decreases, and then they'll go and refinance and then take it off, which that's a whole nother segment to talk about refinances. So, but with the PMI, your down payment helps with determining your PMI rate and your interest. So the more money you put in, the less you're going to pay. Oh, thank you so much, Chosen Queen. I appreciate you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for leaving me running. I appreciate you.
It's 8 o'clock.
Oops, sorry guys. That's my electronic computer telling me what time it is. Okay, so we talked again about let's see, they come up. Yes, credit score. So how they actually factor your PMI also, they look at your credit. Because again, remember, most lenders are now going to go through, they're going to run that Freddie Mac LP or the Fannie Mae desktop underwriting. So the scores and everything, they look at all of that. So we talked about the credit score, I think, on the first or second live that I did. But yes, they look for late payments. They look for overextending. They look for people that's buying, getting credit cards just to have credit cards, or just any kind of credit card, just out there, just getting credit cards because they can get it, and then they max them out and they get them over. They keep them over the 30%. And if you keep it, if it's over 30%, you know your credit score is going to go down. If you keep it below 30% of the balance, then your credit score is going to be safe. Anybody have any questions? Actually, it's getting dark here again. And before we talk about the max, just remember, if you do have over 80% um, on your loan, if you just started out and you have your 100% financing and you're in an area that's booming and your credit, your property value just skyrockets, like where I live now, they're building so much stuff. I can't even keep good insurance because every time I look up, my insurance is going up because the area is just booming. So make sure. What about selling now that my PMI is off? You could sell, yeah. Selling is fine. Selling is fine. That means you're gonna, what the PMI is doing is just dropping your payment down. Your payment should decrease. Hello, Sheila Thomas. Thank you for joining. Welcome. How are you? So just make sure you check with your lender. Vern, just make sure that you call them and they make sure it has decreased about $58. Okay, yeah, because each year it's gonna be deducted anyway. It's gonna go down because you're paying off more. So glad to hear you're doing well, Sheila. Thank you so much again for coming. My bank called me about my credit score safe. Called me about my credit score safety. Your lender called you about your credit scores. They're trying to convince you to lock down your credit, because we talked about that on one of my lives too. Locking down your credit so that nobody can do anything with your credit. If anything comes up, if somebody tries to apply for your credit with using your social security number, it's going to get a kickback saying this credit is not is locked. So in other words, you'd have to unlock it. But that's good that your lender is calling you for security purposes to make sure that you keep your credit score safe. But you can actually do that as well. Even though your lender said they can do it, I would do it on my own, only because it's so much hacking out there. You know what I mean? So somebody could hack the lender's system, and next thing you know, they're sending out this big old message saying, "Yeah, our system was hacked, and we're going to give everybody a free credit report for the next year," or whatever, like Equifax did. So if you go ahead and lock your credit down, you wouldn't have that problem. You could take what the lender is saying, but also make sure you keep your credit score, your social security number locked, and you can go through all the bureaus and lock your own credit. But again, make sure you check with the lender when it's time for your I need to know what my credit score is. Okay, now Sheila, you would need to go through, like, you can go through Credit Karma. You actually get a free credit report every year. So you can go to creditreport.com and order your free credit report from there. Or you can set up a credit with the Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian, and they can get it for you. Hey, the Miss Yo-Yo Show, welcome. Hey, sis, how you doing? So you can go through those credit bureaus yourself and have your credit. You are entitled to one free credit report per year. I no longer pull credit. I put everything on inactive on my side. And I would not pull credit unless you were purchasing a home or refinancing. So, got all fairness, I couldn't do it. But you can actually go through those companies and get your free credit report. But again, before I forget, if you are about to come off of if you're going below 80%, your your PMI is about to drop. Make sure which you have gotten the notification. You're welcome. You've gotten a notification, Vern, that your payment has decreased. Make sure that your payment didn't decrease because of your escrow. Make sure it decreased because the PMI is gone. I don't trust certain lenders because they're going to make as much money as they can. So just check and make sure that that's what happened. And if you're at 50%, what's that? Your LTV at 50%? Let me show you a show. If your LTV is at 50%, you shouldn't have mortgage insurance unless you're FHA. Now, FHA is going to give you PMI. They used to not give it to you if you were on a 15-year note, but now since all of the mortgage kerfuffle and all the craziness, everybody gets PMI on FHA. Hello, Blossom Fam TV. Welcome. Thank you for coming. Okay, so we're going to talk about loan limits. I think we might make it without the storm getting me. Okay, so we're going to talk about, well, let me back up. We talked about credit scores, but I didn't tell you much. On a conventional loan, they want you to have a 680 minimum credit score. 680 or higher. However, if you get an LP accept or accept plus or a DU eligible, you can go with a lower credit score. Now, they do judge that based on the loan to value of the property that you're purchasing or that you're refinancing, if you have reserves, and if you're going from a 30-year to a 20-year, that all triggers the system and say, hey, this is the less amount of time that we're going to have this customer. Let's go ahead and give them approval. So 680 is the minimum. However, I've seen it go lower than that with an approval through LP or DU. Sorry, I forgot to bring that up. Okay, so the loan limits. On a conventional loan, you can get a 1-unit property with a $510,400 purchase price. If it's a 2-unit, it is $653,550. 3 units is $789,950. That's the max loan amount you can get, loan limits. And then a 4-unit is $981,700. So those are the loan limits for your conventional loan. But keep in mind again, guys, once your DTI is calculated, just because you can afford the $1 million, please don't go overextend yourself. Things happen, and I've seen it happen many times. Just be careful. Okay, so we're going to talk about some guidelines for bankruptcy. I get a lot of people saying, hey, I filed bankruptcy. When can I get another loan? Or when can I refinance my loan? Or when can I buy another house? And there are guidelines. So for a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 11, it is required that you have 4 years since your dismissal or discharge date. You can possibly go 2 years, but you have to have extenuating circumstances such as loss of job. Please do not purchase anything while you're in the process of, yes, that's right, Fern. You don't know how many people you pull their credit and it's like, oh, I got a 650, so I can go and get this FHA or VA loan. And then they'll go out and buy a car. They'll go out and open up credit cards. They'll go buy furniture for this house that they thought they were going to get. Your credit is at 53%. Your credit? Oh, I got what you're saying, meaning that your balance is 53%. So should I wait to buy a house? It depends on that. See, it depends on the overall credit though, Miss Yo-Yo. You can have, as long as you haven't made the payments late and you have, hello, Beverly Palmer, welcome. Welcome. You can have, is it just like, it could be one credit card that's like that? Is it everything that you're talking about is over 53% or is it just one credit card? And if you have reserves, if you have reserves on hand, you got job stability. I know you got job stability. So if you've got those factors, they were running through. Now I've seen some really weird stuff that go through the system and get approved, such as job stability. If you've been in your address, if you've been at your address for, for years, that has been a positive thing. You also have a good credit score. That would also help you with your the possibility of getting into a home. I would have to know more about it, sis. And if you want to call me without giving out your personal information here on the line, I'll be happy to talk to you. Just give me a call. Thank you for mentioning about the car. I was going to ask you that. Yeah, don't go buy anything when you're trying to buy a house. No, because we have to calculate your debt to income ratio. And if you get a car, those car payments are just outrageous, just crazy high. So definitely don't buy anything if you're trying to buy a house. And again, your credit report is good once your loan officer pull it. But once it goes to the lender, and that depends if you're with a lender that is going to, the loan officer works for the direct lender, or in my case, I was a broker. So I sent my loans to other lenders. So when I pull the credit report, the lenders never pull behind me because I pull the credit and I ran it through the LPDU system. But some lenders will pull behind us. Thank you, Chosen Queen. Thank you. So yes, you definitely have to not buy anything. Don't buy anything. Because I've seen people buy stuff before their loan closed. They got all the way to the end of the line. They went out and started shopping, and the lender says, we're going to pull their credit because they look at you as a risk, first of all. So they want to make sure that they're not giving you hundreds of thousands of dollars and you're going to go and renege on the deal or go into foreclosure or make your payments late. So they won't pull when you are close to signing off. Yes, I've had them pull. Yes, I've had them pull the day of closing. I've had them pull people's credit. I know they verify employment too. So if those things started looking sketchy, especially if you're already a sketchy customer that has, lower credit score or barely have reserves, or your job information comes back and it's a little flaky, they will pull it again, and they have every right to do so. I've had them to pull again, and the customer quit their job the day of closing. Quit their job the day of closing. I've also had an instance where nothing showed up on the title, nothing showed up, period. The day that they were going to closing, the closing attorney called and said, we got a problem. The federal tax return people, the IRS, went and put a lien against the against the customer. So they had a judgment. So we had to get that cleared up because with a judgment, they're not going to let you purchase a house with a judgment because that means that judgment takes precedent over the property. So the lender that's giving you $150,000 or more, they won't be able to be in first position. That judgment or that lien is going to be in first position. So they're not going to let you do that. You're welcome. Yeah, definitely call me, Auntie Yo-Yo. Call me, call me. Don't quit or change your jobs while in the process. Yes, you would be amazed. I'm telling you guys, 30 years have gave me a lot. I've seen some of the weirdest, craziest stuff ever. And I want to ask them, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? And I preach to my customers when I give them, I give them, I make them so mad at me. I'm surprised they even refer me out because I would get on them like they wouldn't know it. Tiffany said, y'all must not have watched her home buyer video. Am I preaching it the same way, Tiffany? Am I telling it the same way? Over our credit is 50. Now, you know what? That just bothers your credit score. The Miss Yo-Yo show, it bothers your credit score. What it does not do, it doesn't tell the lender, because as long as you're making the payments on time, you got the job stability, you got reserves, and you're not overdrawing, because they look at your bank statements too to see if people are overdrawing their bank accounts and things like that. As long as those things are fine and we put it through the automated system, you would get approved, especially if you got reserves. I'm just telling you. And as long as your DTI doesn't go over the 41% for FHA and 35 to 37% for conventional, you would get it. So guys, yeah, with the bankruptcy, you got 7 and 11, chapter 7 and 11. They want 4 years. They will go 2 years if it was circumstances that was beyond your control, such as you lost your job. Hey, Wilson, for real, welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now on the chapter 13, they want you to have 2 years from the discharge date with no late and reestablished credit. And when they say reestablish credit, they want to see revolving. They want to see an installment debt, a revolving debt of $1,500, an installment debt, and they want to have your rental history or if you're refinancing, they want to see that you haven't made any late. So they're very tricky. They're very cautious about bankruptcy. What is the difference when bankruptcy in chapter 7? With a bankruptcy in chapter 7? Well, chapter 7 is where you wipe everything out. You don't owe, you don't pay anything. They take everything off your credit and they trash it. And your credit is like a virgin credit report. Nothing. There's nothing on there. Nothing. But the bankruptcy will be on your credit. The bankruptcy of chapter 7 will stay on your credit for 10 years. A chapter 13 is 7 years. And a 13 is a repay. Chapter 11 is business. Did that answer that question for you, Bunny? Yeah, yes, Wilson. I'm glad I answered your question, Bonnie. Yes, yeah. Oh God, yes, Vern, yes. Even though it's public records, I've had people that filed bankruptcy and didn't know where their paperwork was. I had to go down to the courthouse and get the paperwork because I had to work. I can't go down there. But you got a contract And, hey, Jazz and Nicole. Hey, sis, how you doing? So they couldn't find their paperwork, or they'll give you some of the schedule. And I'm like, what happened to the rest of it? Just like divorce decrees, it's public record, but you can get it online. This particular person, their bankruptcy was so old, and I'm trying to think what happened with it. I know what it was. It wasn't on her credit, but she actually disclosed it in one of her letters that she wrote to the lender. The processor called and asked for a letter of explanation on her credit. She thought it was on her bankruptcy that was so old. And making dinner. I'll be there. And she thought that they were talking about the bankruptcy that I never saw on her credit. And she opened up a can of worms. So the lender asked for the bankruptcy papers. I'm like, why? It's over. I think that bankruptcy was probably about 15 years. They said because she opened up the can of worms, we had to go and get the bankruptcy papers just to make sure. I could have strangled her. I was like, oh my God, I told you to call me before you sent anything into the office, because as an underwriter, I knew exactly what to get. The file was ready. The only thing that was not in there, which the processor overlooked it, and had she not overlooked it, it wouldn't have been a question. So yeah, that's what happened with that. But yes, definitely keep all your papers. Keep all your papers for your bankruptcy, your foreclosures, everything. Because each state is different with foreclosures. In the state of Georgia, they will not sue you for the foreclosure. Some states will take your tail to court for that foreclosure. Georgia's not one of them. So definitely paperwork, as my grandfather would say, black and white. Keep all your documents, your black and white, black and white. Once you have it, you have it. He says, keep it and get everything in writing. Get everything in writing. So any other questions? Okay, guys. So I am going to ask you any questions that you have or suggestions. And I always ask for suggestions. And that's basically because I want to center my lives around you guys so that you guys can get what you need. And I pretty much get the same group of people in my lives every week, which is awesome. And that gives me the opportunity to give you the front seat to let me know what you want to hear about. So any questions, any suggestions on a different, what about deferred student loans in the process? Now, Jazzy, deferred loans, they do count a percentage of the balance, because it's deferred doesn't mean, because you got to have to pay it. So in other words, even if you're deferred or you're on what they have going on now with COVID-19, we do know that the loans are going to have to be paid. They're very cautious with student loans only because they want to make sure that, because again, that student loan could come and take precedence over that property because it's already on your credit before you got the loan. So they want to make sure they have a good, clean title. Some student loans will sue you and you will have a lien or judgment. So they want to make sure it's all clean. Do I have any information on the mortgage loan forbearance extension being extended to? I've heard of it, Alex. I've heard of it, but because I am not, I don't do the credit part. All I talk about is mortgages. But it is a thing that is out there now for COVID-19. So with that being said, you would need to speak with your student loan person, your federal student loan. The mortgage loan forbearance extension. Oh, you're talking about mortgage loan extension. Okay, so that's going to be your lender. That is your direct lender. because not all lenders are complying. I'm sorry, I misunderstood your question, Alexis, I'm sorry. You're new to my channel, so thank you for coming. I appreciate you being here. So with the mortgage loan forbearance extension, you would need to speak with your, thank you, Beverly. You would need to speak with your lender because not all lenders decided to do that. It depends on who your lender is. I know the larger banks are complying to it, but some of the lenders did not comply to it. Thank you, Tiffany. I appreciate it. And that's a good question, though. Thank you for asking that question. Yes, I am new. Thanks for having the live. Thank you so much. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. But I do know that some of the lenders are not fulfilling that obligation. And I think it's the smaller banks that are doing it, that are not doing it. But your larger banks like your Bank of America, your Chase, your some of those bigger organizations, they are doing them. Some of the credit unions are even, because they're not for profit, nonprofit for profit, some of them are not following through either. So definitely call your lender. And I know if you feel comfortable with it, put your mortgage lender out. If you don't want to put it out in the chat, I totally understand it, because I know some of the bigger lenders are following suit on that. Like your, again, Chase and Bank of America and Citibank, those bigger ones are. Wells Fargo. But that is and they're extending it through October. I thought they extended it through, maybe it was October. But you do know with the forbearance, how the forbearance works is after, I believe they're starting this month in certain states in June. What they're doing is they're taking the amount that you could not pay. They're taking that amount and they're spreading it over a certain period of time. So your payment is going to be higher for the next so many months. So that's how they do the forbearance agreement. I would recommend anybody that's going through hardship due to COVID-19, I would recommend that they go to like the Salvation Army, those different types of places that help support you through those times. Because when it's all over, if you're back to work or you're just back to work, or one of your members in the family is not working, that's going to be a hardship for you too, because you're going to have to pay that back. They're not going to put it at the end of the loan. Most of the lenders used to put it toward the end of the loan, but they no longer do that. I know HUD used to put it to the end of the loan, and they stopped after the last mortgage bailout. Any other questions, guys? You guys rock. I got 15 amazing content creators in my live, whether you're in the woods, in the walls, at the door, wherever you are. I just appreciate you coming in today. Guys, this is something that I talk about. I love to talk about it because I've been in the business. I was in the business for over 30 years. So I really appreciate, you know why I said that, right, Miss Yo-Yo? The walls. So I really appreciate y'all coming in. Yep, in the walls. You know, they hide in the walls. So I appreciate you guys being in here. But this is something that I like talking about. I want to make everybody strong with their finances. And, you know, after this live, I normally take you guys over to Tiffany for her live at 9 o'clock, because she teaches you how to be fit in your pockets. So yeah, and I'd like to talk about the mortgage industry, because I want to talk to you about when you decide to go buy a house, what to look for, what not to look for. If you got a good loan officer, if you got someone that's a scam, I like to talk to those things, because these things that I'm telling you, your loan officer should already know this, and they should not be asking you for some crazy things unless it came directly from the lender. And with that one, I could not step in and say, no, they shouldn't ask you for this because you have that. But if I had to tell you, well, ask them, can you do this instead of that? Oh, you're welcome, Chosen Queen. You're so welcome. So, guys, what I'm going to ask you now, because I asked if there was any questions, I'm going to still keep the live up and running. Got a question for you guys, though. Give me just a second here. I just lost my train of thought. Oh, there it is. Does anybody have, I'll be over at Tiffany's. I'll be in and out. So Tiffany, Chosen Queen, says she's going to come over to you at 9 o'clock and she'll be in and out. And I didn't hit your reminder thing, Tiffany, but you know I'll be there. Yep, so I'll be there. And I just lost my train of thought all over again. Wow, guys, this is MS is a beast. My memory is like, if I don't say it right then and there, I'm just a beast. It's just messed up. But I had something I wanted to bring up to you guys. Oh, does anybody have any new content that they're putting out? Did anybody want to say anything about what they have put out between Sunday and today? And if they got anything coming, hey, Holistic, hey, honey, how you doing? Welcome. Does anybody have anything new that they want to put out here to share with everybody? You're welcome to do so. I want to know too. So then that way, if I need to go and check out something that I've missed, I love to look at your content. So anybody going live soon? Anybody have any goals that they want to talk about? I'm glad you're doing well. Have you put anything out new lately, Holistic? This is y'all's opportunity to say what you have out there. Thank you, Candy C. You just premiered a video an hour ago. Let me write you down. So guys, what I do is I keep a list. And when you tell me you put something out, I make it a point to go out and check it out. And I write you down on my list. So Holistic has one. Let's see, Chosen Queen, do you have an email I can reach you? I'm planning on buying my first home next year. Sure. Actually, if you want to check me on my Instagram, or if you go to eattolivestrong.org, that's my email. I'm sorry, eattolivestrong.org is my website. You can email there, or you can go to eattolivestrong@gmail.com. And just put in the about section, Chosen Queen, that who you are, so I'll know it's you. Candy C is editing a video now. I have 3 in the working. I really hope I can post this video tomorrow. Yes, Living Better put 2 videos out. She put one out Saturday and Sunday. Guys, go check out her home decor. She did 2 tablescapes. Very pretty, very, very beautiful. So check Living Better out. Candy C says she has something out that's coming out. She's trying to get it out. Holistic says she premiered an hour ago, and I wouldn't have got it because I'm on my live. Sorry about that, sis. Let's see who else. Tiffany goes live at 9 o'clock, guys. I'm Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'm content on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. I did not put anything out this past Saturday because I had a really, really long weekend. It was all beyond my control. Let's see. I put out 2 on Saturday. Okay, we said that. Hi, and Vern is still here. Wilson for real says that you doing daily videos? What? I know, Wilson. Wait a minute. You were live in Sam's, and I was live in Kroger on Saturday because wifey told me. So I got to talk to you about something too, Wilson. I didn't know you were doing something daily, man. They didn't tell me daily. So I got you guys down. So I got Wilson. I got Holistic. I got Candy C. I've already seen my dear sweet friend living better. And did I miss anybody else? Miss Yo Yo, are you going live anytime soon? Chosen Queen. No, Chosen Queen's gonna email me. Yep, she told on you. She told on you. She said he's doing a major haul in Sam's. I said, oh, I can't compete with the Sam's. I'm just in here buying something that I ended up not buying. I went in the store for one thing, didn't even get it. Got something, got 7 or 8 other things. I'm like, what? I got home. I was like, man, I gotta go back to the store. Let's see. Holistic Down Under says hello, Miss Yo Yo, and let's see. My girl still out here. Is Alexa still out here? Jazzy Nicole, are you still there? Do you have anything coming out, Jazzy Nicole? And Foodie Squad. Foodie Squad has her, Monday, guys. Y'all got to go. Mellow Monday. She got Mellow Monday, guys. And she has the Red Cup on Friday. Y'all don't want to sleep on those. Now, she has her Mellow Monday while Tiffany is on, but she lets that one go. The Mellow Monday goes for a long time. So y'all go check Tiffany out first and then go check out the Mellow Monday. Y'all will enjoy both of them. I have a premiere that's going to come out tomorrow, and it's a haul. And then I'll have another premiere on Thursday, and I'll have one on Saturday. And all of my content, I try to put everything out at the same time, which is 7:30. So with my Monday, Wednesday, Fridays at 7:30, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday is 7:30. So then that way it's consistent 7:30, 7:30, 7:30. So is Taylor still out here, or has she gone to the onto something else? And don't forget the guys that I called out on last, I think it was Friday. You guys that were in the live, that was speaking in the live and questioning and answers, you're going to be you'll have a shout out at the end of my premiere on tomorrow. And I'll do that again today for some of you guys that's been out here rocking and rolling with me. So guys, we got about 20, what is that, 24, 22 minutes before Tiffany goes live. So if you guys want to talk about anything, this is the opportunity to do so. If you want to talk about your channel, you're more than welcome to do so. Because I really like to try and raid Tiffany. And also didn't get an answer. What do you guys think I should talk about next week? I've kind of sort of got a idea, but I'm going to see what you guys have to say first. And then if I don't hear anything, I'll ask you, what do you think about me talking about it next week? So if I can get somebody to tell me what they would like to hear about next week for the mortgage, that would be greatly appreciated. 13 amazing content creators hanging out with me today for Mortgage Monday. I appreciate you, whether you're in this live, in the walls, in the bushes, in the trees, at the grocery store, in your car, driving home. Just please don't be caught driving and looking at my live. But I appreciate you being here. You know, I've been on people's live while I was driving, which is scary. Hey, cuz, how you doing? Hey. So you have you guys have Chase there. Chase has a good one, and I have a great loan officer that could help you too. That's in that she's with Chase. Hey, 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 and 1874. Jaden, thank you for still hanging in there. Thank you so much. I think that 1874. I think you and I'll send you the loan officer information. I will definitely. Uh, I think you and Miss Yo-Yo are in the same location. So yep, I'll send it to you. How you doing? How's everything doing? How's family doing? So Jaden Sud is saying hello to everybody. Jaden was the second person in. You put something on your YouTube channel? Okay, awesome. Okay, guys, so Jaden put something on his YouTube channel, so y'all check him out. Oh, you will be? Okay, awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Just let me know. I'll be there. I'll be here. I don't think I'm going anywhere. I don't think they're sending me out anywhere right now. Hey, Jessica Hicks. Hey, hey, welcome, welcome. Hello. So yes, I'll be here. I don't think they're sending me anywhere anytime soon for ambassador because of COVID-19. It's driving me crazy because I would love to be somewhere. Well, Jessica, we talked about conventional loans. If you like, I can go back through the slides if you want to. If you want me to go back over it, I'd be happy to. We've got about 19 minutes before we rate Tiffany Chanel. I'll be happy to go over the slides with you. If you want me to, I can replay them. Just let me know. So guys, Jaden said he has something that he put out, so y'all check Jaden out. And Jaden, I will check you out too because I put you on my list. I want to thank you for coming too. You're always coming in. I appreciate you. You guys will know I've been in your videos or whatnot because I always make a comment. Here's the thing, Jessica. If you're going to look at it, make sure you don't look at it in the same because it messes with the algorithm. So make sure you check it out from a different device or clear your browser. Because once you come in, and if you go out and come back in, it messes with the algorithm. So just check it from another device or from a clear your browser to look at it again. Make sure there's no red line underneath the video. If you can do that for me, please, that would be greatly appreciated. And you're very welcome. I appreciate you coming in. So guys, time is ticking down. So let me just go ahead and tell you guys what, let's see. Oh, wow. Okay. I didn't know that. Yeah. So anytime you're looking at people's content, if you see the red line underneath, that means that if you go back in, it's going to affect their algorithm and their watch hours. So yeah, always open it up from a different device and clear out your cache and cookies so it won't mess with their numbers. Now, if Tiffany is still in, can you confirm that, Tiffany or Miss Yo-Yo or Vern? Can you guys confirm that for me, please? Because I'm hearing so many different stories. But I need to just make sure that if somebody's going to go back and look at it, and make sure that they look at it from a different device. Or Foodie, if you want you ladies to confirm that for me. Hey, Jasmine. Welcome, my dear. Hope you're doing well. Thank you, thank you, thank you for coming in. So we've got 14 minutes before the beautiful Tiffany Chanel is going live, and we're going to raid her by saying, even if you guys are in her live, before we get over there, make sure you just say, Eat to Live Strong, raid. Because I like to raid my girl every Monday. So does anybody else have any other questions, any new content? I've got a list here that I compile every week. I'm a little better. I'm glad you're better, Jasmine. I really am. I keep you in my prayers, girl. It was a hard week for us. Hard, hard, hard week. I'm so tired. And when the storm came through, I was telling Candy C earlier, I said, I'm really not feeling well, but I'm going to go ahead and push through. So she said, yeah, the hours will reset if she were to go back and watch it. So she needs to make sure that the red line is done, that is gone. So by resetting her, clearing her cache and cookies, right, Candy C? And let's see, you put this right, everyone. I have to go. Have a safe and be blessed. Thank you. You're very welcome, Bunny Rose. I totally appreciate you coming in. God bless you as well. Thank you so much. And you stay safe too, sis. I appreciate you. If you have any questions, hit me up on my Instagram. If you have any questions, just Instagram me and I'll be happy to go over it. Or leave a comment on one of my videos and I'll know that you've been there and I'll respond to you if you can't find me on Instagram. So what Candy C said to you, Jessica, let's see, girl, I have been interviewing people all day. I just have to clear my head. I know. So that's right. I forgot I met you on Candy C's live. That's right. You were up on the panel with us one night. Thank you for coming, girl. So yeah, just make sure that there's no red line underneath the thing. So just clear your cache and cookies or look at it from another device. So if you're on your phone now, look at it from your computer. So Candy C and Living Better, Jasmine easily said hello. You look from your iPad. Okay, cool. Cool. Because I want you to get the information. I just would I don't want to mess up the algorithms either. Somebody told me a different way to do it, but I think it's a little too much. So I got 11 amazing content creators in the live. I do appreciate each and every one of you. And we've got a little more than 10 minutes. What is it, 13 minutes before before Tiffany Chanel goes live. So we're going to go and raid her. So if you guys want to hang out with me, we can chit chat until we go raid her. And then you guys can make sure you stay in people's live for at least 15 minutes, guys. 15 minutes. So that way they get full credit for you being there. So please stay in the lives for 15 minutes. And the videos, and if you're watching videos with commercials, the best way to pay back to your fellow people that are monetized is by looking at the ads all the way through, even up to they have the sundial that's going 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stay in that live so that they can get credit because this is their part of their livelihood. This is their money that they're making for giving you such great content. So please try to stay in the live for 15 minutes and then make sure you look at the ads for the people that are monetized. So, and it's not the ads are not that bad because what you could do, especially if you're looking at somebody's content that you like, say for instance, for mortgages, if you're looking at somebody talking about mortgages or crocheting or cooking, that's something you like to do. So just put the phone down or let it run and then you go check your mailbox or go change your clothes or go get something to drink and come back. Just let the ads play, guys. It helps them a lot. And I always think about the fact that one day I'm going to be, and I hope sooner than later, that I will be monetized too, and that I always watch my ads. So I hope that people would do that. Absolutely. Or even run it in the background if you have. Yeah, exactly. That's right, Holistic. Exactly. So just let it run so people, because we don't get a lot on the ads, but it actually gives them, gives them some breathing room because we want to make sure that the ads are being looked at. And if if they're doing the content a certain way, like for instance, most of mine is eat to live strong, eating healthy, right? So when I'm monetized, you're not going to hardly see me do, every once in a while, I might come out and do something on mortgage, like if it's an update or something that happens. You may see me come out and do it then. But for the most part, all of my stuff is going to be based off of healthy eating and fitness. So when you see it, right. So when you see my ads should be centered on my channel. So it should be basically things that's talking about healthy living, eating, or meatless Monday, or Fiesta Fridays, or vegan eating, or fitness. So my commercial should all be placed with that. So if your channel is true to its name, that's why I had to step back and say I wasn't going to do a lot of different types of content, because when it's time for my ads to be put on, I need for it to be more of what my channel is about. So, and that's the only way they can tell it is by how you put your content out. So if I'm doing bike riding or skateboarding or hula hooping, whatever I'm doing, my ads should match that. So if you go to see some of the bigger YouTubers and you look at their channel and you see like somebody might be an accountant, a CPA, you may see all kind of ads for like um, Quicken or things like that that matches their channel, because that's how they get their money. When they're monetized, they get their money that way. So by the way, I don't know a lot of people. Most of you guys have been in my channel each one of my lives, but Wilson for Real was actually monetized last week. I think it was Friday. Forgive me if it wasn't Friday, but they were monetized. So congratulations to Wilson for Real. They actually got monetized. And anytime you're close to your time, I don't want people to say anything about it, because I don't believe in jinxing, but I don't want people. Some people do. So, but if you're close to your watch hours, I wish you the best. And yes, Jessica, it is. Yep. Yes, I hear you. That's true. Yep. Thank you, Living Better. Thank you. Yep, watch the ads. Watch those ads, guys. So, guys, we're now at 8:52. So, at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are going to raid Tiffany Chanel. Let's see. Running playlists is a great way to help as well as the ads will run. And yes, exactly. Once they're monetized, that is the best way to pay it forward is to, if you can't afford, because everybody can't afford to give a super chat or a cash app or what have you. But the best way to help them out is to actually run their playlist. Run it. But make sure you guys, just run the playlist. That's the best way to do it. And that's an easy one too. That's easy to do it. So definitely just think of the way that it will, if you want this to be you once you're monetized, think about, and I didn't know anything about, I'll be honest, I didn't know anything about the ads and things like that when I was on. I'm here, but I can't hear you because I'm getting ready. Okay, sis. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and we'll drop her link in a few minutes so we can raid Tiffany. But I didn't know anything about YouTube as far as the ads and things like that. All I knew was that I was going to YouTube to find something, and the ads was keeping me from finding it, especially when I was in school. And I was like, I'm trying to get this paper done, and YouTube got these daggone ads, and I just kept clicking, 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 skip, skip, skip. And fast forward to now, I'm like, oh my goodness, I am so bad. So yeah, those ads mean a lot to people. So you don't get paid a lot off the ads, but just look at the ads for the sake of that helps them out. And I want to make sure that I'm not being bombarded that way, but I want to make sure that we look at the ads. So, but before I forget, because I need one of my mods to go ahead and drop Tiffany Chanel's link in about 2 minutes. But next week, next Monday, I think I'm going to talk about fraud. I'm going to talk about fraud. So what do you guys think about me talking about fraud for mortgages next week? Can anybody answer? Let me know what you think about me talking about fraud. If Jessica Hicks said congrats to the Wilson for Real, if you're still in here. Because I have 10 amazing content creators in the live right now, and I totally appreciate you. I should have a linky list. I have one on my computer, but not on my phone, of course. Carolyn E. Carolyn E, you missed me out this weekend. Carolyn usually be my road dog. She be riding with me on the when I'm out on my lives. I could always depend. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you so much. Next week is gonna be fraud. We're gonna talk about fraudulent. Um, my kids were bothering me. Pineapple and then the kids, they ain't bothering you. They gave you a pedicure. I made some rice, broccoli, and baked chicken. If you want some, yes, fried would be good. So I was sleeping when you were out when you rolled out last. Oh, okay, okay. So I'll talk about fraud. I actually had started to talk about fraud, and I changed it last week and did FHA. So I'll do fraud next Monday. You guys are gonna be laughing at some of the stuff I tell you that happened. So we can do fraud. Fraud is next week's topic. So thank you for the people that agreed with me doing fraud. Yes, so y'all get ready to get your laughing. Thank you, Living Better, for the link. Hey Sheila. So we'll talk about fraud next week. Yes, Sheila. Yes, ma'am. We're talking fraud next week. So y'all get your paper and your pen so y'all can have some questions. It's not going to be as presented as it was these last few times. I am leaving. Okay, dear, I'll give you a call. I promise you, I will call you. Because Sheila, you missed a good live on last night. There were people. We were talking about autoimmune, and it was a sisterhood, and it was awesome. So I'll talk to you later. Bye, dear. When I worked at the bank and credit union, I noticed fraud often. Yes. And some of the things I want y'all to have questions, and if you have some experience or if you've seen some fraudulent action, it's a good time to come up and talk about it. As a matter of fact, we could possibly do where I could have a group of people come up on a panel and talk about it. So if that's something you guys want to do, we could do it that way too. Because I think Foodie worked in the banking industry too, so she knows. I'm sure she ran into a lot of that. And even if it wasn't fraud on a credit card or fraud, I mean, it wasn't in your line of work. If you were a victim of fraud, that's something we need to talk about because that's something we can actually help each other with too. And I could tell you some of the signs, and Candy C could tell you some of the signs because she's seen it. Foodie's seen it. Some people that has had fraudulent actions happen to them. I think that's the way we should do it. So, what do you think about doing it as a panel like we did for my Wellness Wednesday? So if I did it where I can have a panel of people come up, would you guys like to do it that way next week so we can tell the experience, who went through it, who saw it, who caught it? Instead of me just doing a lot of talking and telling you the stories, I think that would be a great idea. So Candy C, I know you are like busy at the time. Either way, but panel would be good too. Okay, so you would like to come up too? Would you be able to come up, Jazzy? Nicole, next Monday at 7:30? And I'll see if I can get Foodie to come up. I know, I think Living Better had an issue too where somebody, identity, it would be good idea. Be not sure if I could commit to come up, but I will try. Okay, Candy. Okay, that's fine. That's good. Um, I'll just drop the link if you can come up whenever you can. That's good too. But I'm sure I can get some people to come up and talk. I think that would be a nice live as well. Okay, guys, so it's 8:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our girl Tiffany Chanel is going to go live in 1 minute. As long as my baby cooperates. Oh, baby will be good. She'll be good. And you can always step down or mute out. Or
it's 9 o'clock.
So Guys, we got the link out there. Even if you're already in Tiffany Chanel's live and you let me run because you're so sweet and beautiful, please go out and say, Eat to Live Strong, raid. Let's go over, raid my girl. See you later, Candy C. Thank you for coming, dear. Go over and raid my girl, Candy C. I'm sorry, Candy C. Tiffany Chanel. Let's go over and raid Tiffany Chanel. The link, can you drop the link one more time, please? Please, please, please. And guys, remember, give her 15 minutes at least. She gives you some really good information on her Mondays. And I will see you guys over at Tiffany Chanel's live. Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you. So guys, run over there and have a good time with Tiffany Chanel. And I'll see you over there. Thank you again for joining. See you guys on Wednesday for Wellness Wednesday. And I will be here on Friday for Fitness Friday. So I will see you guys then. And thank you so much for coming today. See you over there. Bye, guys. Here's my spirit fingers. Bye. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you. Thank you. See you later, Holistic. You're very welcome. I'll see you next week. Hopefully, I'll see you next Monday or Wednesday or Friday. And I'll check out your video. Thank you so much for coming. So I just do it like my little niece. She gets tickled when I say, see you later, alligator. She loves that. See you later, alligator.